Andarki namaskaram, welcome back to Vamsi Bhavani. If you haven't watched Prompt Engineering Part 1 or Part 2, please watch them first before watching Part 3. In Prompt Engineering Part 3, let's start discussing prompt engineering techniques. As you all know, prompt engineering is a mechanism by which you give good prompts or good inputs to your Gen AI models, right? There are multiple techniques using which you can give good prompts. We'll discuss three of them today. So we'll discuss about zero shot prompting technique, right? We'll discuss about one shot prompting technique, and we'll discuss about few shot prompting technique, right? These in general are called shot based prompting techniques. So we'll discuss about these techniques today. First of all, watch this clip. Right? In this movie, in the clip that you saw, the hero is trying to, throw a stone into a, glass, right? As simple as that. Now, think of the hero as the AI model, right? Stone as an attempt to get good response, right? And that stone falling into glass as actually getting good response. See, stone is a response, right? AI model is the hero, and only if this stone falls into the glass, it's a good response. Even if it doesn't fall there, it's a response, but only if it falls into the glass, it's a good response. With this analogy, can an AI model, can the hero always throw the stone into the glass in the first attempt, or can the AI model always give you the correct or good response, good output in your first attempt? It's up to the AI model, right? So if in case you get the correct or required response in the first attempt, then in the first prompt itself, see in prompt engineering, it's all about you giving inputs, right? It's up to you to decide if it's a good or bad input, but you always give inputs and you always look at responses or outputs, right? If you see good outputs, that's when you backtrack and say, yes, this was a good input, right? So if your first input gives you a great output, then it's called zero shot prompting, where in the first attempt you got the response that you required, right? But let's say that didn't happen. So in the first attempt, the AI model threw a stone, but it fell somewhere here. What can be done? You could actually hold hero's hand and show him the exact projectile motion in which stone has to travel for it to fall in the paper cup or the plastic glass, right? Similarly, in the AI analogy, you can tell the AI model that if input 1 is the input, then output 1 has to be something like this. Like if it's input 1, output 1 should look something like this. Then you say, okay, now that I told you if it's input 1, this has to be the output. Now I'll give you input 2, right? Tell me the output. In this case, if AI if AI generates the right response or the response that you were looking for, then again, this is a successful prompt. But given that you gave it one shot of input output sequence, it's called one shot prompting technique, right? Now you could have imagined what few shot is. Simply, even if in this case output is not great, then what you could do is, okay, you will say if it is input 1, then output should something like this. Output should look something like this. If it's input 2, then output should look something like this. If it's input 3, output should look something like this. Then in that case, if this is input 4, predict the output. If this is right, then given that you gave it few set of input output sequences in your prompt itself, it is known as few shot prompting. Make sense? Let's take few examples. Now, first of all, I tried for a zero shot. I just said it, sun rises in the east. It said, yes, that's correct. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and so on. I said, no, I don't want it something of that sort. I'll say if its sun rises in the east, then the answer should be, your output should be true. It is a universal truth. Got it? Great. In that case, what should be the output for acidic substances are sour? Then it says true, acidic substances are sour, generally have sour taste and so on, right? But if you see, it didn't tell me that it's ans dot, because that's what I was expecting, right? But the output isn't that way. So I'll try few shot, because one shot didn't work. So I'll say sun rises in the east is let's say the question or the input. Output has to be ans, answer dot true, it is a universal truth. Acidic substances are sour, then the output should be answer ans dot true, it is a characteristic property. Then if you say north and south poles of a magnet repel each other, then if you see, yeah, it has improved a lot. I mean, it's now using ans and it's saying false and like so on. I tried again with this context, would it be able to predict the answer? With zero shot again. Cheetah is the fastest animal. Now the pattern is recognized in the context, but it's too long, right? So I decided to do a few shot again. So I gave it everything and made sure that the sentences are small. I didn't specifically mention stop sequences or maximum length, but I made sure in the few shot that every sentence is short. So if you see the final one, Earth is the largest planet in the solar system. Now if you see, the sentence is shorter than the previous one. And the biggest advantage of few shot prompting is, or short prompting is the advantage. It's that you can bring in determinism. Because see, this determinism, being deterministic about the output is really important, because if you don't have this, you cannot actually programmatically interpret the responses from the API. Because let's say if it's in different pattern every time, how can that be your sequence of input for a function or anything that you want to process upon the output, right? So bringing in determinism is really important, and that can be achieved with short prompting. And the disadvantage of this specific prompting technique is you cannot use this on logical questions, because let's say you have integration or differentiation of few equations. Even if you give it 4 or 5 shots of integration question and answer, it cannot make sense out of it, because it's just not the sequence of tokens but a logic involved. In those cases, in logical prompts or logical questions, actually logical prompts or questions, this doesn't work. Got it? That's the disadvantage. Now I told you that the advantage is bringing in determinism, making the responses more deterministic. Let's check that. See, what is responses being deterministic? If you're able to get the same response or similar response in a new context, that's when it is deterministic, right? Let's try that. So I tried giving the same exact same prompt again, and if you see, we got similar response. So it is successfully bringing in determinism, right? So this is all about few short or short prompting techniques in short, right? So I hope you liked it. Definitely do subscribe to Vamsi Bhavani English if you haven't it. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.